Hello, I'm Kimberly Acosta. Welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on Friday, December 4th. Many of the stories you hear here can be found at our website, IndianCountryNews.com, or you can check out IndianCountryTV.com. And here's the news for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. 7,112 acres of Crow Creek Sioux ancestral land in central South Dakota was auctioned off on December 3rd for almost $2.6 million by the U.S. Internal Revenue Service to help pay off more than $3.1 million in unpaid taxes, penalties, and interests. A sale that the tribe says is illegal under the federal laws protecting Indian land. The tribe filed a lawsuit on Monday in U.S. District Court in Pierre, South Dakota, seeking to block the sale. Judge Roberto Lang declined their request, but promised to schedule a trial to hear the tribe's arguments. Chairman Brandon Sazu said he hopes the tax dispute can still be resolved in a way that allows the tribe to keep the land. Lawyers said the tribe can purchase the land back during a 180-day redemption period of the land, and the land will not change possession during that time. A trial is tentatively set for March 29th and 30th. Native Americans in Alaska are more likely to be hospitalized with swine flu than whites in the state, and the lack of running water in some of the areas may be a factor. Health experts from the Center of Disease Control and Prevention and the State Health Department studied all known cases of H1N1 flu in the state to see if they could find any patterns. And one of the striking patterns was Alaska Native Americans were no more likely to die of swine flu, but were far more likely than whites to be sent to the hospital with severe symptoms, said the CDC's Dr. Thomas Hennessy. Scientists and indigenous communities have been paying close attention to the H1N1 ratings among the Inuit, American Indians, and Native Alaskans because of the memories of the 1918 influenza pandemic, which wiped out entire villages. Some early data from Canada also suggest that Inuit regions were harder hit by the first wave of the H1N1 in May and June. A Texas school district asked a federal appeals court to throw out a ruling that its enforcement of a grooming policy violated the rights of a kindergarten student who refuses to cut his hair for religious reasons. In January, a federal judge barred the Needville Independent School District from disciplining the boy, a 5-year-old of Native American descent, for wearing his 13-inch hair in 2 long braids outside his shirt. A 3-judge panel from the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals heard arguments today from lawyers on both sides of the case, but didn't immediately rule on the district's appeal. The district says it has a right to enforce its grooming policy, which requires that a boy's hair not cover his ears or touch the top of his shirt collar. Roger Hepworth, a lawyer for the district, said the policy is designed to teach proper hygiene, promote discipline, and avoid disruption in school. The Hiawatha Belt with 5 arrows bound together will be featured on the reverse of the 2010 Native American $1 coins. The design, based on the theme Government, the Great Tree of Peace, includes the inscriptions United States of America, the $1, Haudenosaunee, and Great Law of Peace. The Hiawatha Belt is a visual record of the creation of the Haudenosaunee, also known as the Iroquois Confederacy, with 5 symbols representing the 5 original nations. The central figure on the belt, the Great White Pine, represents the Onondaga Nation with the 4 square symbols representing the Mohawk, Oneida, Cayuga, and Seneca nations. The bundle of arrows symbolizes strength and unity for the Iroquois Confederacy. Featured on the obverse of the 2010 Native American $1 coin is the familiar Sacagawea design by sculptor Glenna Goodacre, first produced in the year 2000. Entertainer Aragon Starr has released an audio version of her one-woman stage play, The Red Road. The Native News Update caught up with Aragon earlier today in her home in Hollywood, California. I'd like to welcome Aragon Starr to the Native News Update. I appreciate you taking some time out of your busy day to talk with us. I know that you have a new project that you just released the audio version of The Red Road. You want to tell us about that?
I'd love to tell you about The Red Road. It is a fictional story of a cafe one hot summer day, June 1977, in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. And it features 11 different characters, and I play all of them. And I sing music in between, and the characters sing in different character and styles, and we have done the show for audio, for radio theater, and hopefully it's going to play in your neighborhood or somewhere, wherever you might be. It was produced by Native Radio Theater, Native American Public Telecommunications, Native Voices of Autry, and it's being distributed by Native Voice One. So hopefully you'll hear it there in Hayward on WHAB if you haven't already heard it. And it's already played in Oklahoma City, in Albuquerque, and Tulsa, and other places around the country. Fort Collins, my friends up there in Colorado are going to be playing it on KRFC, which is just another station. And that's kind of what's going on. That's what we're doing.
And you're
it's
just
a great show. It's comedy. It's fun. It's Indians. It's craziness.
So it's just another transformation of your Red Road from when you did it on the stage to doing the audio. But you said you recorded it live.
Yes, we actually wanted to record in front of a live audience to get the feel of the stage show because, you know, I've done the show across the U.S. I've toured the show in Australia, and it is a live show, and it needs that energy from a live audience. So that was the whole reason behind doing it that way. And I think it turned out great.
Yeah, I listened to it today. It's a really awesome show. Totally appreciate you sending an advance copy over here.
Yeah.
And you do it.
Hopefully next year we're going to have this thing for sale, so just keep, stay tuned to news from Indian Country and Native News here, and we'll let you know when the CD is going to be out.
And you have other projects that you're working on. You want to share that quickly with us?
Yes, I'm doing a comic book version of my other radio theater project that I did, Super Indian. Finally going to come to the web. Yes, indeed. That's where it's going to be starting because we're modern Indians. We're 21st century Indians. So going straight to the web with this. And hopefully we will have those on superindiancomics.com in January. I'm feverishly working on it when I'm not, getting gussied up and talking to you. Yay!
Dang, you're just a woman of many talents and many hats. We call the entertainer, right? Because of everything that you're doing. Do you have a website so people can hear about everything you're doing from your music to your stage?
I do. It's arrogantstar.com, and that's ARIGONSTARR.com. Come on down. See the pictures of me and Uhuru from Star Trek.
Lovely.
I do not.
Well, I appreciate you taking out a few minutes and talking with us today on the Native News Update. And
my pleasure, Kim. Thank you for asking me. This is something totally new for me, and I love breaking new ground. You've been doing this for a whole year, but this is my first time with the kind.
You've been awesome. We've been following your career for, I've been here 18 years, so you're one of the people from the beginnings. It's nice to see the evolution of what you're doing.
Yes, and here's the 18 more, and I will be back as a columnist this coming 2010. I'm back.
For News from Indian Country, awesome.
I'm back, girl.
All right, we're holding you to that. We'll talk to you later.
All right.
All right.
With the 34th anniversary of the murder of Anime Pictuaqash coming up next week, the Native News Update will begin a series focusing on violence against Native American women. The first of the 12-segment series will feature Denise Pictou Maloney, the daughter of Anime Pictuaqash. Anime was murdered on or around December 12, 1975. She was kidnapped, raped, and shot execution-style in the back of the head as she prayed for her children. Then she was left to die in the frozen plains of South Dakota by members of the American Indian Movement. And that's the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. I'd like to thank you for joining me and have a grand day.